Okay, so first impressions are rugged, solid, nice padded, looks pretty good quality. Okay. Well, that is not the cutest little tamp I've ever seen. I don't know what it is then. It's plastic. Weirdly enough, it's got some scratches on it already. So I wouldn't expect that. The casting has some flash on it. So for those who don't know what flash is, it's sharp bits of plastic where when they make molds, if they're poorly made or they've been used hundreds and hundreds or thousands and thousands of times and they're starting to wear out, they leave these marks, these flash marks, which you can trim off, but I guess you'd expect that to have been done already. Anyway. There's the basket. Stainless steel, rubber covering. There's your O-ring. A couple of options maybe. Maybe one goes on top, one goes underneath. We'll have a look. Two different sorts of O-rings. Okay. You're seeing this for the first time with me. It seems quite a lot of play in the side of that. I'm not quite sure why there's so much play. Bit of play in that too. Build wise, I've not had a Flair before, but I hear good things about them. But I would expect tolerances wise for that to not be anywhere near that loose. Anyway, that's pretty loose too. We'll see how it goes. What's the rest of these like? Crop on. It's a lot of play in that. I'm not quite sure why they would require that much play. I mean, it seems to have rubber washer in between the two parts, but as a practical sort of guy, as an engineer, that seems like there's way too much play in that. Anyway, that one's, obviously they're supposed to be like that, one's the same. We'll see, I guess. We'll see. Anyway, the rest of this is all silicon covered plastic, stainless top. See where that wheel sits on there. Let's see how this thing goes together. Maybe I should have a play with it instead of making you lot sit here and watch me try to figure this thing out all by my own. That's interesting. That wheel, so that where that top of that plunger is depressing against the front of this body here. That bit obviously has no play. That's, I guess, supposed to keep it upright. Drops down and the wheel is off centre of the middle of this currently. As it pushes down, I guess this wheel should turn. I'm not sure like it is, but I know it's turning in relation to this body. And now it's going to roll across it. Okay, there you go. Looks like it's going to work quite well. As you push it down, it rolls across. See how it is with pressure on it though, hey? I mean, currently there's no pressure because there's no coffee in there. I reckon we should make a coffee. Okay, let's make some coffee. So, what are my thoughts? Let's do this while we make coffee. Build quality is really nice. Thoroughly enjoyed the build quality. There's a couple of things that could be better. It's a bit clicky and cracky kind of as you work, as you're sort of running through the process. I've probably made 6-7 shots now that I've dialed it in on, and I've been pretty happy. It was quite simple to dial it in the first place. Part of that's obviously down to my King K grinder. It's a lovely machine, lovely hand grinder. I didn't want to use my my grinder for my coffee machine because this is what I'm going to be using when I'm out camping. This is replacing the Picopresso, and so I want to use all the same gear that I would use during a camping exercise when I'm out with scouts or whatever. So the King K6 is my favorite hand grinder. So I'm using everything that I would use at home, not at home, when I'm out camping. So I'm using 15 grams, which is what it says in the instructions, and it's also what I found works the best. That will depend on your grinder. It'll depend on your roast. This is a nice sort of light to medium. It's a Square Mile coffee. It's this month's pick. Generally they're singles. They're not always singles, but it's this bit might be a little bit noisy. Still got my 15, beautiful. All right. Now, I haven't preheated this. I did play with it. I didn't find it made that much difference. It was something that a couple of people mentioned that I sort of noticed on groups and that sort of stuff. And I normally would obviously preheat everything when making coffee. But I've just found that I didn't particularly notice a huge amount of difference. One thing I wasn't a massive fan on is the fact they don't supply any sort of distribution tool. This is what I'm currently liking very much at the moment. I think I just got it off AliExpress, somewhere like that. I've had a few over time. I think this one's from AliExpress, but it's got a nice fine needle, or needles. It's got 6 needles, and it does the job. It's perfect. I've never had any of the automatic ones. Kind of don't see the point. This one works well, and so this is something that I do add to my camping gear just to make life a little easier. Now, this is possibly the world's cutest little tamp. I find it easiest just to tamp it a little bit, then take off the funnel, and then just make sure to clean up. It's not a bad fit once it gets down. It's got a little bit of play, and all I use is my both 2 thumbs. Give it a reasonable amount of pressure. Lift off, drop it back down, one more little press. Don't have to go too mad. It's a little loose. It could be slightly better, but it is what it is. Got a screen. Now, I don't know if they all come with a screen. I have seen that people say they didn't get a screen. I don't know if that's I know you can buy them, and then you got, again, I actually don't, this is like a secondary screen. I don't think that's that important. I haven't tried it without, and ultimately I just use I use it because it's designed to have it. No reason why you shouldn't use it, I guess. Let's see if we can do this so you guys can see. Red rubber, obviously goes Flair written up the right way, goes on top. Like I say, anything else I'd preheat this, even my Picopresso and that are preheated. I haven't really found the need for it quite so much. What I am doing is obviously my mug is preheated. All right, coffee mug, 0. There's a nice little line inside. It's a little bit faint, but you can see it. Especially once it steams up, I find it a little easier to see. Okay, so 15 grams. I've been aiming for 30 grams out. Holding somewhere between the sort of 6 and 9 bar. I have seen people playing a little bit with a little bit of pre-infusion. Again, I haven't messed too much with that, and I've been pretty happy with it. I spend a lot of time messing with that sort of stuff on my proper coffee machine, and I want to be able to get good coffee while camping, but this is ultimately meant to make my life easier, not more complicated. And I often get the scouts look at me and go, what the hell is he doing anyway? So I don't need to add anything to that. So I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on it so it starts to get a bit of pressure on the gauge, and then I'm going to start my timer. There's 6 bar. But now I'm cruising up to 8, 9, and we hold it between 8 and 9 for the bulk of this. All right. So what do we got there? We've got 34 grams in 35 seconds. Why are you still going? It's 30 seconds. Bloody Chinese timers. It's playing up. So 35 grams in about 30 seconds was pretty good. Pretty happy with that. I like to use this little lid, little rubbery lid. Just stick underneath so I can catch it in my dripping. So just for anyone who's interested, this is what our coffee looks like. So not a heap of crema, but a nice little bit of crema in there. Reasonable amount. Like I say, there's about 30 grams of coffee in there. It's not a huge mug, but now I tend to add to my coffee when I'm having a normal 40 grams of coffee. I would add normal 40 grams of coffee. I would be adding around 70 to 75 grams of coffee. So I'm going to put in about 60 on this one, I reckon. Maybe 55, 60. Okay. All right. So I know this coffee pretty well anyway. I know the flavor range. It's a little flat, maybe. There's obviously a reasonable amount more for me to do messing with this machine to get it perfect. Is it better than Starbucks or Costa? Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. I would drink that without any issues at all. If I paid for that in a coffee shop, I'd be more than grateful. I'd been happy to pay for it. Every now and then I drink a Costa or a Starbucks, and I remind myself, why the hell do I drink this turd? That wins hands down, 100%. Like I say, could do a little bit more. Now, as for the machine, genuinely in love with it. Genuinely love. Often when you buy things from Kickstarter, I've had things not turn up. I've had things that are all right. They're not the most amazing tool in the world. And I know people have had issues with this Flair Go. Even people who are big fans of Flair had issues with the Flair Go, with clicking and sort of having to loosen bits off and that sort of stuff. I've been lucky. Mine's genuinely been really good. I am working with a light to medium roast. I always do. Not a fan of heavy roast. I don't want to taste like I'm licking the bottom of a barbecue. I've got no interest in dark roasts. For a light to medium or even medium roast, it's perfect. You're not having to put way too much pressure on it. Your grind isn't too thin. What I am finding on the King K6 is that I'm running at about 35 clicks, I think I'm sitting at, which is what I'd sort of expect for, it's a relatively coarse grind, actually. When I set it where I originally would have expected it to be running on something like this, I just found it took way too long to actually extract. I got my sort of 30 grams over about a minute and a half. It was just way too much pressure. And some of the videos I've seen people do, they look like they're having to really, really lean on it. And I can only imagine they're going off the scale. So my final thoughts, genuinely impressed. They've just come out this week, I believe, in the UK for sale on the market. This one came from, like I said, from Kickstarter, but I thought it was probably a pretty good time to stick a video out there. Might help some people thinking about buying one. I'm genuinely impressed. Genuinely impressed. I don't even know what they're worth. If it's 200 quid, I'd buy that. I've bought way more expensive coffee things than that in the past and thought this is totally not junk. Is it a Picopresso killer? Without a shadow of a doubt. It's bigger, of course. In that case, it's bigger. You saw my setup that I have for camping in my little plastic box. So I don't carry it. It's not tiny anyway. I'm not that worried. Yes, it's bigger than the Picopresso, but it's far nicer to use. Now, one thing I didn't add was cleanup. Incredibly impressed with the cleanup. The puck comes out perfectly every time. Just falls out. It's quite amazing. Picopresso I find a little bit of a pain in the ass to clean. I never really know. Is it clean inside? I don't know. Like there's water still stuck in there. It's a bit of a. Is it dry? You don't want to put it away. You have to leave it hours just in case it's got water in it because you don't want to get home and forget about it and sit there for months with water stuck in it. This genuinely feels far easier to wash up. I'm pretty happy to throw the whole thing, not the frame obviously because it doesn't need it, but the whole thing in a tub of water on a camping trip. Give it a swill around and pretty happy that it's clean. What I think they should have added was a distribution tool and a nice little brush. A little brush is always very helpful. A stiff brush. I'm not talking about a dusting brush for cleaning dry coffee grinds out. I'm talking about for cleaning out in amongst the sort of the gauze material, the little tiny holes in the puck in the screens. That would have been really helpful. Apart from that, I can't see what else they would need to add. Do I worry about the longevity of it? Maybe. When they first started it, people were standing on them and all that as a video to show off how tough they were. Pretty wobbly. There's a lot of play in the legs, a lot of movement side to side, and in all the joints there's a lot of play. I wonder how long that's going to last. I can imagine me having to do some work to kind of maintain that in the future. But so far I'm very happy, and I can imagine this being my go-to for quite some time. Yeah, thanks very much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. We have lots of YouTube videos. Most of them are older videos. They're on blacksmithing and that sort of stuff. I drink a lot of coffee and I buy a lot of coffee gear. Being into camping and outdoor stuff, we go through a lot of outdoor stuff too. So if you like seeing that sort of stuff, let me know. We'll keep adding those sorts of videos. I know the algorithm doesn't like it when people do more than one type of thing, but screw them. I'm putting them on here because I enjoy it, not because I want the algorithm to like me. Anyway, have a good day and make sure you have a coffee on me.
Okay, so the video is basically over. I hope you like the review. This is just a little bit of real-time times two. Sped it up a little bit so it's a little less boring. I took it away with me to scout camps. I've done 2 scout camps in the last week. One of them was our district camp, and the next one was the Scout Archery Nationals. This is me at the Scout Archery Nationals. You can see there my mug has warm water in it or hot water in it, and the brew chamber is in there, and the basket, the portafilter sort of part of it. The reason for that is I know I said earlier that I haven't really found it made a lot of difference. I did start to notice a lot of difference when you're in a heated house and that sort of thing. It was a little less obvious. When you were 6 degrees, 5 degrees Celsius outside, it was a really obvious difference. There was no way I was going to make coffee at that kind of temperature. So I just put hot water in the mug and then I dropped them both inside there, and I've found that plenty enough. Now this is, like I say, real time times 2, so you can kind of get a bit of an idea how long it takes to make it. Same as usual, when I have some sort of coffee contraption, I get scouts and other adults and all sorts come up and ask me what it is, and some want to make fun. Some think it's really interesting. I don't care. Coffee's my thing. I don't spend money on many other things, but I do like coffee and I do like machinery. And when you put them together, I'll get involved. So enjoy. Thank you.
Here's a fun one. Often you can never put these bloody things back. Can I work out how to put it away? Okay, that makes sense. I don't know why I didn't see that. I'll say that makes sense. Sort of closes. There's a lot of pressure there. That's how it was. Look at my video. That's better. It's a little better. How do I get that in there? Looks like I need to make a bigger box.